didn't see Anthony Vitello out there. What's his situation? And then if you have an update on Panarin's timeline, that would be great.
Yeah, Anthony's got a lower body injury. He's day to day. It was questionable whether he could skate today, so it is day to day, and Panarin's day to day as well.
Yeah, David, another housekeeping item, but then a question on Lafreniere. Filipino, his status, what is that, an update there? And also, with Alexi, more of a detailed question, or a bigger picture question. Obviously, his play is coming around a little bit, but how different has it been coaching this guy this season in this particular time where he doesn't have the benefits of going out to dinner with the guys on the road and, one-on-one meetings in your office and things along those lines? So what is it required from you on that end?
Well, just finding different ways to continue to help him improve. And the great news about it for all of us is that, he's always going out of his way to improve. So it certainly makes it easier from a coaching standpoint to help a player that wants to get better. And he's very coachable. He wants to learn. He's a guy that understands how important he is to us. And, he and I have talked a little bit this morning actually, and just talked about, sometimes the problem with the situation that he's in is that we're trying to have a 19-year-old play like a 24-year-old. So, because he plays important minutes, he's on our top two lines right now, and that demands a lot. So, we're demanding a lot from a 19-year-old, and sometimes it can be unrealistic.
Hey, Coach, we've touched on all the different hurdles that this season brings. One of the things we really haven't talked about is the schedule. So far to date, you guys have played 6 sets of games against the same team. The Bruins seem to adjust well after their loss to you. Going forward, you guys have this scenario 14 times. You play every other day with the exception of once where you have 2 days off. For a young team, can that be an advantage or a disadvantage, and what are some of the challenges you foresee with that schedule?
I don't know if the challenges are you're playing good teams. You play the Bruins back-to-back. You're playing a really good hockey team on back-to-back nights. And, the scenario that we faced yesterday was a team that had gone through something they hadn't gone through in a long, long time. And, I was disappointed that the first period ended 2-0 because I thought maybe we might have deserved a better fate than that. I thought the period in general was not much going on for either team. And, under those circumstances, that would have been okay from our end of it. Just because of the circumstances, like I said, that they were in. I thought we got their best punch in the first 10 minutes. If we were able to keep it 1-0, I thought it would have been a good thing, but I thought we'd get a little bit demoralized after they made it 2-0, and then really got demoralized after they made it 3, because the way they were playing, goals were going to be hard to come by. And I didn't think we responded very well to those situations. But, the challenges are when you play back-to-back, I think other coaches have touched on it, it's harder to win back-to-back games against the same team, and it's not just us. I think every team faces that challenge. So, the same challenges we have with that setup, the rest of the league does as well.
I wanted to go back to something that you said the other night about Alexi when you said that when you guys were in the locker room after the game that he was kind of hooting and hollering and being vocal and that sort of thing. Does that speak to him being comfortable in his own skin, or do you already see some leadership qualities in him?
Definitely see some leadership qualities, and he's very comfortable. He's got a swagger about him. We've talked about that a lot. He's got swagger, but he's not arrogant. He knows he's good, and he knows he's good because he's going to put forth the effort to continue to be good and be the great player he's capable of being. So, both of those things are certainly exciting from our end of it, where you get a guy who, is comfortable and also has leadership qualities.
Yeah, I thought, David, it was interesting what you said. You're trying to get a 19-year-old to play like a 24-year-old. Are there times where you see Alexi play like a 24-year-old?
Yeah, he's got that ability to be physical. He and I talked about different ways he can be physical to add to his game, but there are definitely things he does that you can see he's mature beyond his years.
Yeah, David, you were impressed with Colin Blackwell during training camp, but obviously started the season on the taxi squad. Have you been surprised by how much of a contributor he's been, and where do you see how he fits into this team?
Well, I'd be lying if I thought he'd be producing offensively the way he has so far. But if you look, when his season ended last year, he was starting to get hot offensively in Nashville. So, obviously he's a guy that brings a lot of energy to a game. He's got a hardness to his game that allows him to use his skills because he's got a pretty good set of hands, and as you see on a couple of initial rush stuff, he's got the ability to make plays, and he goes to the areas he needs to go to in order to score. And he certainly has taken advantage of his opportunity.
Coach, obviously, for the most part, the PK's been good. I'm just wondering against Buffalo, they seem to really rely on their power play scoring. Is that something you just have to have a conscious effort in when you're playing against them?
Yeah, you got to stay out of the box against everybody, but in particular a team that's clicking at the rate they are and how dangerous they are on their power plays. So, Jock's done a hell of a job on our penalty kill this year, and we'll continue. He'll continue to do the job he's doing, and our guys will continue to respond. But the key is to stay out of the box against that team.
Yeah, David, just quickly, do you have an update on Filipino and his status for tomorrow?
Yeah, he'll be a game time decision, but we're excited. There's a good chance he'll be able to play tomorrow.
Yeah, if you look at the standings and the teams you've beaten, you have a couple wins over Washington, one over Boston now, and you split with Philly, but you're 1-3 against the bottom of the division in the Devils and Sabres. Do you look at that like the team rises to the occasion against better competition and plays down to lesser competition, or how do you evaluate that, especially going into the stretch?
Well, we're certainly in no position to look at anybody as lesser competition because we're certainly a lot closer to the bottom of the division right now than we are to the top. And that being said, I think we need to continue to approach every game, regardless of the opponent, the way we have over 3 of the last 4 games. I mean, we can't just because we're playing an opponent like Boston or Washington or Philly come and play with the right intentions and be mentally and physically focused and approach the game the right way. We've got to approach the game the right way regardless of who we're playing, and that's certainly going to be tested over these next 3 games.